Alrighty, folks, welcome back to Abdec. Unfortunately, I don't really have any new ideas, so we're just going to go into this, horrendously steep hill that needs to be climbed from the bottom again. I have no ideas of a way forwards. Although, I have a time away from the game, so who knows? Maybe there will be some subconscious progress that I've made. So, probably been about a week. It's been about a week since I last played. Maybe, yeah, around a week, I'd say. Path of Adults. So I'm still under the impression that I've done the wrong thing for the path of the final path of adults. This whole thing about the path. Where even is it? Next page, 14. 14 rings a bell. Yeah, here. Okay, back to basics. What do we have? We have an adult. We know adults. Well, okay. Consider everything. What do we know? Well, what I think I know is that adults want to walk every cell within the region that they're in, whether that region is shaded or not. That's what I think I know. And here, they can't possibly walk a loop. Obviously, that's the other thing, is they have to walk a loop. Here, it cannot walk a loop. And so these symbols must mean something. And suddenly we've got symbols at the edge of a grid. Okay, so the adult's able to walk up to the symbol at the edge of the grid. And the corresponding symbol is over here, also the edge of a grid. And here, I had to place a D shape. And I ended up placing it there because over here, the asymmetry is that the symbols are in different places. Yeah, like one of the symbols up there, or the other symbol's there. And so I placed the D shape here because a D shape is walkable. Like you can hit every single cell. And so one of the other things this implies is that when an adult hits one of these symbols, maybe I should stop thinking about it as a portal. Maybe like that framing is making me miss something. When an adult touches a symbol, it appears at the corresponding symbol, it seems. And there is clearly a loop from this page through to the heart page, which I know is where it ends. And it seems that when the adult touches the symbol and appears at the next symbol, at the corresponding symbol, it can go from light to dark. It can go from unshaded to shaded. Here we have unshaded, and this is never going to be shaded because we don't have any letters. So we're going from unshaded to shaded. And then we can walk that whole path and we can leave through there. That takes us to that place, which is grid aligned. It's grid aligned, but there is no grid there. What would that even mean? I just kind of feel like this is inherently going to be something very random. Because there's no grid there. Like, you're saying to... I mean, if I was going with the way the book tends to work, what it would mean is that whatever rule I'm using for drawing the adult's path down here applies up here. Alongside, like, all the other rules of, because, like, we're back on pages with normal puzzles on them, so, the rule is place the letters into the grid, such that these are covered, etc. I remember the only other idea I thought of is that, well, there are a few ideas I thought of. One is that actually, like, scaled down, these could be like here and here, and that would make a path. But then that doesn't work on future ones. And then the other idea I thought of was that maybe the positioning of these isn't that relevant, and I can like move them around and place them on this grid, and there's like some specific place they have to be placed. Oh, the other thing I remember noting is that, well, so when leaving rightwards through the squiggly line, I emerge rightwards out of the squiggly line. I mean, if it's a portal. But in all the cases that I've seen so far, well, I guess the two cases that I've seen so far, that one and the other side, which is which of those symbols? It's the K shape. You continue in the same direction. So I was kind of thinking like maybe that means you always continue in the same direction. But then what would that mean for this A shape? Because like it's now rotated. So that's what led me to believe that, oh, okay, so maybe what I'm supposed to do is like place these in the puzzle to maintain the direction. Like, in what way can this not be really arbitrary? There's no grid there. Oh yeah, and then eventually I went down the whole line of like, oh, maybe I'm supposed to place the bits of the bus, but that was also just random. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense that, oh, I need grid. Where do I get grid from? Well, why don't I steal the grid from the other puzzle? Why don't I steal the grid from this puzzle? Why do I steal it from here? That doesn't make sense. It's just random. That is just, it wouldn't make sense. So if that were the answer, I'd be like, huh? Whereas I'm not expecting to be like, huh? I'm expecting to be like, ah. Different arrangement of A's and H's. Well, I guess hurt is more like a U and an H. Whatever. H's and vowels. The next book should be H's and vowels. That's the entire set of things. And so all the puzzles are called like, huh? Or ah, or whatever. But what possibly could be an answer here that doesn't feel as random as that? I need grid. I need grid. Like, you just asking me to call you, like, this can't be an existing rule because this is the first time we've not had a grid. Okay, I guess then what that would mean, like, if it is just an existing rule, then it would mean, what that would imply is that my rule so far for the path of adults has actually got nothing to do with the grid. But that can't be true. That just 100% can't be true because otherwise, like, oh, wait, what? Did I not fill one in? Oh, I must have not filled one in. I must not have gone back. I remember this one. This is the first one. Yeah, I remember it. Let's fill it in now. It's the first one we did, rotation. It's this. And then this. I believe. Yeah. Okay. And then you walked like this. Like, yeah, like if the grid was irrelevant, the grid can't be irrelevant because like the rule is all based on the walking in every cell in the grid. Like, I don't know what the behavior of an adult is outside the grid. And I guess like the fact that these things are aligned to, I can't pick it up. The fact that these things are kind of aligned to the grid implies that in some way the grid sort of extends just without the grid lines. But then, well, then that would mean that I'd have to walk every space on the like potentially infinite. Well, I guess it's not infinite; it's a piece of paper. But the, like I don't think that aligns. I mean, to be honest, I don't think that length of that line is even the same as like the length of that edge. No, it's not. It's wider. We can see it's wider there. So what does that mean? So sure, you're aligned to the grid, but the edge isn't an edge. Does it even look the same as the other ones? Let's go back to the ones in here. Like, I don't think it does. What does it? Maybe. Okay, to be fair, on this one, they do stick out at the edges as well. Okay. And yeah, they do look similar. Okay, so I think that I was thinking, is the art style the same? Like, is the penciling in the same? It is the same, as far as I can tell. Because like these lines look a little different to these lines. They're not the same. But I think that is true on here. Like, it's really hard to tell, but I have to bring it close to my face so you can't see it. But yes, so like around here, this is like a darker color, and when it gets to the portal, it's like a slightly grayer color, which matches what I see over on here. This is like a slightly grayer color than this. So yeah, the implication would be that I have to like, well, things can't happen outside the grid. Like I said, I guess they can, because now we've got things outside the grid. But then we're saying this is not outside the grid. But then what are the bounds here? Like, what are the cells that have to be walked? What are the cells that have to be walked? Where are the other ones? Let's find the others. I've forgotten it's been too long. I don't remember any of the things. Here's one. Okay. Oh yeah, I went through loads of ideas like maybe this aligns to here and then it enters this space, but then how would it cross into this shaded area? It's not at an edge. I need to like think in the fifth dimension. Is that, and there's nothing to do with like the other side of the paper, no. No, it doesn't align with anything. I'm thinking like, does this symbol align with something on the other side of the paper down here? But no, not at all. What would it mean? And there's no shadow out here, because like we know we can walk in shadow. But there's no shadow outside the grid. Symbols have to go inside the grid. And the symbols are used. And the puzzle's done. And if like, yeah, there's a million reasons that doesn't make sense, because like, well, we know because if the shapes could go outside the grid, then where am I? I'm in the original book, okay. First of all, so this is like a thing right at the beginning of the, well, no, it was when I was trying to figure out the rotation stuff. But yeah, like looking back at the beginning, the shapes go outside the grid. These shapes could just go anywhere and there wouldn't be a unique solution to this anymore. Indeed. Just go over here, like A over here, perfect. And then what was the other thing I was going to say? Well, the other thing I was going to say, well, since shapes can scale as well, I would just be able to scale one of the shapes, and it would just like cover the thing. I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't even work out anyway. I was just thinking like, okay, could I place these shapes to connect that to that? But no. Like, that's assuming I don't scale, but then if I can scale, then it feels like the room. Yeah, there's just obviously would be a billion different solutions if I if I did that. So no, that doesn't make sense. But even just like, even at single scale, it's like, well, A, it gets it into the right row, 1, 2, 3, but then there's this. Do I scale up the C to a big size? And then where do I place it? Do I place it there? Do I place it here? Put it up there? No. Doesn't make sense. Clearly would never make sense because there's just no constraints out here. It's just like empty space. What do I know? I mean, the symbol's already used up, so that doesn't make sense. It's such a different feeling solving this kind of thing to solving the puzzles that I enjoy a lot more. This is definitely a feeling of just like, what are you saying to me? It's just like making me guess at a billion different things, hoping one of them's right. I am wondering like where my limit is. Like, at what point will I just say? Because like I've already set the precedent that I will spend 4.5 hours or whatever stuck trying to figure something out. Do I want to continue that, or would I rather end in a different way? There's no grid. What's the rule? The adult has to walk every cell in the region it's in. Well, what region is it in? Well, it's currently in the paper. Okay, so then what's wrong about my rule? Okay, let's say I was gonna like break it down so that cells aren't part of the rule. Is there some way I can make the rule here not include cells? No. Because everything is like, I mean, okay, except we've done rotations and there's like partially shaded things. What are the implications of that? I mean, that just ties it more into the fact that there are cells and the cells exist, and therefore, if a cell is like partially covered, it's not part of the space that the adult needs to walk. So no, it's just inherently cell-oriented, this rule. Because if it wasn't, then the adult will just do whatever. And so therefore, what on earth does it mean for there to not be any cells? Except the possible, like, infinite set of cells. But then I have an infinite set of cells that I can't place shapes into, that I can't... Yeah. And if it were the case of just like connecting that to that using these letters, which it isn't, because it's not, it's like, sorry, it is ambiguous, and it doesn't even work. If it were a case of that, then what would that mean for this one? It would mean I'm connecting all of these together with that D shape, which also doesn't make sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So something scaled up to 7. Yeah, not going to happen. And sticking out one place on each side. Not going to happen. Clearly, they wanted me to put it there, on the grid. There's no grid. There's clearly no solution here. It doesn't make any sense. And yeah, there are squillion reasons it's not just placing those. Because if it were, I could just put them in any order. Like even if I do scale up the C, I could then put the C over here and then put the B. It doesn't make sense. I'm definitely not using the bus pieces, right? I still don't know. I still don't know. I just don't know what that would mean. And it would also feel completely random. Like, why can I go get those pieces? Can't I just, like, draw out my own grid in that case? Can't I just go to find a random piece of grid paper and just cut out whatever grids I like? Like, what is the connection? I don't think there's a connection between this and that. Collect all 8 Letterbus edition textbooks and cut out all the pieces to build your own bus mosaic. Send the finished mosaic to Letterbus Design Headquarters to win the prize. No, I don't think that makes any sense. And the annoying thing is the answer for Battle of Adults is the bit that's easy. And yeah, that proves that I am doing the right thing there. Okay, well that's good to know. Yeah, I don't know. Do I just stop? I wouldn't mind taking a little bit more of a look at these. And like, I guess then the other question is like, would I rather just leave it unfinished or take a more significant hint? And the answer is, I don't know. This one bothered me because it felt like that would make sense what I was trying to do here. Like puzzle 4 shape, placed twice, but it just didn't work, did it? Unless I just didn't find the correct arrangement. This one's weird because obviously there's a reflection. So it's the same letters in the same grid. The dots are all in the same place, but the letters are different. Now, what would that imply about the solutions to these two things? Well, yeah, they would have very different solutions because the letters are in different places. Like maybe is it just 2 puzzles? I don't understand why the puzzle numbers disappear. That makes things extra confusing as well. Why do we have 45, 46, 47, and then we don't even have a border? Like this sort of aligns with the idea that the grid does continue outside. But if the grid continues outside, then that means the very first puzzles don't make any sense. Because then I could just place those shapes anywhere. So the only thing I can assume then is that this puzzle does have a border. It's just like potentially arbitrarily far away. That's sort of my expectation for this puzzle, is that what it's doing is getting me to place these. Oh, yeah, which letters? Oh no. Which letters? I know there has to be a B shape and an E shape. Maybe it's just those? But they're not listed anywhere. Oh, isn't there that? Which number? There's that thing at the beginning. This is a little arbitrary as well. BEA 49. This being here at the front. BEA 49. 47, 48, 49. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to assume, why are there no numbers? BEA 49, so I'm going to have to assume this is a BEA puzzle. I mean, we can try it with BEA. What does A look like? A is the, yeah, okay. Very small grid. There are these bits shaded, though not shaded in, but like, I assume they're like the holes in the grid. So something needs to be touching this, and it needs to be touching it orthogonally. Same up here, so that's kind of interesting. These two. And these two are next to each other, so if there's a B and an E here, like I'm wondering whether the extent here is potentially infinite, and so what it wants me to work out is like an orientation and a scaling such that it might go off the paper, but I can still work it out, maybe. BEA. This has also got to be here. And E is a very complicated shape, like far too complicated. Like an A would fit nicely around that and hit all of those. But then who's going to hit U? The B. And then can an E hit all of these? Okay, so I don't think there's any positioning of E. Actually, I don't think that's true. I was going to say they could hit like this and this. It depends whether we count this as an infinite extent or not. Because E has that shape that's kind of like, it's like a tall thing. Like if this goes up like that, and so we're doing 3 by 3 cells, well then I think this will end up going this way. Yeah, and then it doesn't fit or anything. But still, like scaled up even more, 4 by 4, and then this would end up over here, that would hit the B, so yeah, maybe not. Okay. So now the B is here, and almost certainly the B is not just going to be single scale, because they won't really do anything, will it? And even if it's scaled up, scaling up this way, it would end up hitting the E. It could be scaled up this way and hit that probably. So 3 times 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Actually, no, because of that. So yeah, we're probably scaling U at an angle. Let me just double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah. So we actually can't scale up enough to hit that orthogonally. Are we allowing infinite extent or not? I'm not actually sure. Because if not, then is that like, are these full squares? Or are they not? It feels like it's not quite a full square. Like the ones along the left edge. So does that mean that whatever touches this has to be orthogonal? I mean, what's certainly true is the B is not hitting this. So either the E or the A is hitting that, assuming that the A is for this, but I think it probably is. So that means either the E or the A is orthogonal, maybe both. But the B is not. And so, okay, B, what could you hit? Like, you're quite far away from a lot of things. Like, if you're not hitting that, but then I think you're going to have to hit that. Because if you're like, let's say you're extending over this way to hit these, then who's hitting that? I mean, maybe the A? And how scaled up would you have to be to hit these? Oh gosh, this is like impossible to figure out. Like, I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, I'm about to go straight through the middle of them, so that doesn't work. And yeah, am I allowed an infinite extent or not? There's no border. I mean, if I am, then can't I just say like there, or like there to there is one cell? I guess we'd hit that, that'd be the issue. But, okay, so what are the distances there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we could divide by 2. So we could do, would it be there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. So that's a cell. And it's such an awkward angle. I'm just not gonna have to not think about where it actually is. What? And then I allow it to go off. And then what would that mean this way? 1. Oh, sorry. 1. Oh no, it's not like that. I can't just count like that. So it's 6 this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I'm gonna guess, it'd be something like that. Feels wrong. I guess what I can do is go from the point here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, would that? I think that would miss that. Well, maybe not. Maybe it would hit it. No idea. And then where's the E and the A? It seems like it would be an interesting idea for a puzzle, like an infinite extent. Figure out the scaling at like arbitrarily high numbers, but you don't have to draw the arbitrarily high, like, or arbitrarily large things, because all that really matters is what you can see on the page and whether the things are covered. But that might not be what it's doing, or it might be what it's doing. Is there a B shape that just extends up that way and hits that? I mean, it sort of depends on whether that counts. It's like an edge. Like if I did to that, to there. Nope. I mean, can it extend further? I don't know. Okay, let's try E-shapes. So it looks to me like E is likely to be orthogonal, which means that it has to be able to reach around from here to here, which probably means that the feet of the chair are here, but not necessarily, or over the top. There's another way, although it would hit the B. So underneath, but there's also, yeah, like you could be the feet and then, no. I'm just gonna hit that. Like this kind of works there. That. But then we're not gonna hit this, are we? Oh, well, maybe we will. Depends on which side we draw the thing. Yeah, on this side we could. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh yeah, just remember somebody said that I have drawn something wrong on one of the previous puzzles. Okay, so imagine that's like that. I mean, it hits those two things. So, sure. Now what? A. So we're saying that this has to be the A for sure. So the A is going to go here. And it would be tricky, if not impossible, for that to hit this. So then, but then the B can't hit that. The problem being that something that an A that extended that far down would then clip in with this. My only other thought there is potentially like, I know this is going to touch the cell that has the... No, if I touch the cell, that's just not going to work. I was going to say, like, I could have an E shape like this. I'm just drawing it kind of sloppily. But then, no, I can't go along the edge of that B shape. I can't, because then I can't include the B inside of the shape. Sure, I could touch it at an angle, but that's not good enough. The A shape can touch the other two shapes. No, it can't, because then it would ruin their shape. The A would be happy to be ruined. It doesn't have to stay in A shape, but the others do have to stay the shape they are. Just trying to visualize other shapes. Like, obviously the B's not hitting this. Either the E is or the A is. If there were an A like hitting this, what would that mean? I mean, it could just be there, tiny little A. Yeah, so the way I drew the E before, that just does not end up working out. But then what other way of drawing the E could hit that? Like, let's think about the E shape. It's like this. It's a chair. Now, which bits can go around an object? This bit, this bit. Oh, sorry, I'm not on screen. This bit, this bit. And like I just demonstrated, if I try to make it this bit that goes around this object, then we'd be alongside the B and that would be a problem. So, and then if I do it for this bit, that's the thing I did the first time, which does fit and hits the shapes, but then it means that B and A can't finish everything off as far as I can tell. Well, especially because B cannot hit that, and therefore A has to be orthogonal. I mean, unless... no. Well, no, okay, maybe with infinite extent it does work, right? If I do... If I do this again... So let's keep track of how far I've drawn. So if we do that again, infinite extent, what was I thinking? What I was thinking is, like, if we do, how far do we have to go? Okay, how far? So we've done 3 along there, 3 along there, 4 along there, 4 along there. So remember, this sticks out just one cell in each direction, but we have to get all the way down here. Okay, so if we're going all the way down here, it's going to be at least this long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There is then room for 2 more. But why would I do that? That makes this ambiguous. Well, unless it ends up stopping the B from working somehow. Okay. Now there's a potential for the B where it actually grabs this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But then it doesn't have to be... Oh, gosh. Like, okay, so if I'm saying this is going to be unique, then I think it needs to, the A needs to be blocked at 10. So this is going off here. It's like infinitely extending that way. So then this is going to be 10 as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then it's going to go up that way. And it's just a huge A. Therefore, this potential, there's not going to be a way that, I was thinking like B could be like all the way over here on the left, coming in and hitting that. Oh no, maybe it could. Could it still do that? No, because the gradient is going to be like a quarter, right? Like it has to be. It can't go up further. We've got to include that. But yeah, that has to be the gradient. There's no other gradient we can do. What does that imply about... Like at some point we have to go up that way, but it can't be now. So we'd have to go up even further. But then maybe these are huge. Maybe this is like, that's one cell, and then that's another cell, and it goes off. But then actually that would then not fit here. That would go to there. Okay, well if the A hadn't been here and we hit that. Okay, let's consider it. Because the way that B is like lining up with some of those corners is kind of interesting. Sorry, it's really smudged. Okay, so then, but then it doesn't cover that properly. No, yeah, it does. I'm going at the wrong gradient. So it'll be there, right? Yep. Does that then hit that as well? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it does. This is kind of interesting. Like just in terms of like, oh, it kind of fits snugly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, goes off the edge there. What would that mean for other things? I feel like I might be on the right lines here, this infinite extent idea. What would that mean for other things? It would mean that somehow, like certainly an E is not hitting that. Yeah, certainly not. Yeah, no way. So the A has to be hitting that, and probably that. But let's not say probably, well, because you're not going to hit that, right? The E's certainly not going to hit it. Is that true? The E is certainly not going to hit that. Like, yes? Again, it'd have to go like around all this, and there's no arounds here except the legs and the thing. And that's orthogonal. It would have to be orthogonal. So that's going to be hit by the A. And almost certainly that is as well. And if that's the case, then... Oh, hold on. Oh, yes. Hold on. If we just treat this as the corner, does it reach far enough? 12. I think I've done a puzzle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3. Extends infinitely outward. Well, not infinitely, but you know what I mean. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think I did a puzzle. Okay, that felt good, because my idea was right. Like the thing that felt intuitive, that I would be like, well, there's no boundary to this, so they can just go out as far as it likes. That feels right. I don't know if I know for certain that is the only solution, but the way everything ended up just fitting so snugly makes it feel right. So I'm going to accept that as the solution. Now we've got to draw it in. To there, to there, to there, to there, to there. And that's quite clever how like this going up there shifts the A's corner up, and that is exactly the right size to allow that to be okay, to be able to still reach this. Yeah, that's neat. To there, to there. That kind of goes off. And then E is aligned. Oops, oh, whatever. I'll be shading it in anyway. 1, 2, 3. Is it 3? I think that's the shape that I drew wrong somewhere else. So I should double check. Like, how big is E? Yeah, it's 3. Okay. Maybe it's not the shape I drew wrong elsewhere. So then it's here, down all the way down to there. By incredibly straight lines. Yeah, I'm very satisfied with that one. That was nice. Now, if only the others would come together so nicely. And that's made it so that now I feel like I can't give up. Because I just solved a puzzle. I just solved a puzzle. I should have not solved a puzzle and I could give up. Okay. I mean, I guess that implies to me that maybe my best chance is to keep working on these scrap paper things. That what? Closed eye open? There's only a closed eye. But that did exactly what I imagined it would do. I just like looked at it. I was like, okay, well, there's no boundary. Therefore, probably it's an infinite grid. And probably I have to figure out how to fit those things. And I had to use that clue from the beginning. Like maybe there are more clues scattered throughout the book that I need to be finding to help me with these things. Possibly. Like maybe I should do another run through. Guess we'll see next time, folks. But we solved the puzzle. Yay. I don't know if I'm ever going to figure out the portal thing. I mean, I just can't see... something that doesn't break the existing rules. I just can't see what that would be. Doesn't break the existing rules and isn't just an arbitrary new rule. That's the two things that we can't do, right? Something that's just an arbitrary new rule would feel random and not satisfying. And from what I've heard, this is supposed to be satisfying in some way. So arbitrary new rule wouldn't work. But also breaking an old rule wouldn't work. It's got to be within the old rules. Obviously, the old rules, my old rules might be wrong, so I can break them as long as I can reform them in some way. But it can't be just something random and arbitrary. And like, you might say, well, didn't you just do a puzzle that's random and arbitrary? But no, I don't feel like that is random and arbitrary. I've actually just stuck exactly with the rules here. This works exactly under my understanding because the grid has no bounds here. So that totally fits with the previous rules. Nothing's changed. And so, well, you know, if I apply that to here, then that means I just have to put those less in this grid. Maybe I do, and maybe I just couldn't quite see it last time. And maybe the whole point of this is just to be like, oh, look, two symmetrical puzzles, but they have different solutions. But then that's not that surprising because they've got less in different places. So what would the interesting thing be? And this, yeah, I feel like I should keep going with these. The portal thing, though, I just don't see how it couldn't just be an arbitrary new rule or something else. Well, Well, then I need to figure out where my existing rules need to break down, I guess. Anyway, okay, that's it. See you next time, folks. I'll probably just try and focus on the scrap paper puzzles for now, I think. Right, see you then. Goodbye.